Fear no demon, for it shall be banished. Fear no dragon, for it shall be slain. Fear no beast, for it shall be crushed. Beneath the hammer of progress and the tower of perseverance. Welcome back, everyone. I am the World Archivist. Back again with another entry on the Colliding Worlds. Today, we will be taking another dive into the Veils over Argatha, as we cover the Exercitus Lunar. Let us begin. The year is 1430. Witch hunts sweep across the lands of Europe, killing many innocents and warlock lords alike, the previous rulers of the wilder parts of the continent. Their power was now recognized as a major threat, and their total extermination had been ordered. In response, many of these lords banded together and founded the Lunar Pact, an alliance based on necessity and trust. They had many apprentices who wished to learn the arts of magic, and many servants who would follow them for promises of power and safety. They drew back their forces from the light of day, knowing they could not face the armies of kings head-on. From dark caves and hidden catacombs, the Lunar Pact trained a defensive force, refined in their magical capabilities. But alas, it would be in vain, for there were enough other magical foes for which the witch hunters to learn their secrets and weaknesses of their magic. Chief amongst them were the Katarai, a cursed people who throughout their lifetime would turn into monstrous entities. Dragons, giants, and undead roamed the land. All were slightly psychic and provided targets for the witch hunters to hone their skills. Not unlike a vaccine was the influence of the Katarai to the hunters, so that when faced with the magical army of the Lunar Council, the warlocks were outmatched. In the face of a second near extinction, the Council took on a new doctrine. The Lunar Council started a grand-scale extermination campaign against the Katarai, so that they would be gone from the view of commoners. In 50 years, the land was void of them. In 100 years, they were old men's tales and widely regarded as fictional. Similarly, through the practice of replacing public figures with body doubles and infiltrating the ranks of the witch hunters with spies and saboteurs, misinformation about warlocks and witches spread rapidly. By the time of the Salem witch trials in 1692, nobody could tell what exactly a warlock was and how to identify them, leading to many innocents being executed. Under pressure from the public, and later through mandates by the Lunar puppeteered public leaders, the syndicates of witch hunters were abolished. What remained of the Katarai after this purge consolidated into tribes, seeking asylum in large underground caverns they called refugia. They swore to take their vengeance on the Lunar Council when the time comes, and their forces grow. As the Katarai were out of sight of the public, and the witch hunters no longer posed a credible threat to the Council, the Invisible War finally came to an end. Carolius Rhodes was not born into the life of shadows, even though he was the son of High Dominus Ludovicus Rhodes. He was destined to be a High Dominus himself by his vast magical ability, and divined by the Lunar-aligned oracles to become a great leader. And indeed, the torch was passed on from his father to him when he was but 21 years of age. Up until then, he had no idea of the existence of the Council or the true occupation of his father. He was simply told that his magical powers were a gift of their superior bloodline. Unsatisfied by his father's explanation and rebellious of nature, he wandered into a life of street crimes, in which he used his powers freely. When Ludovicus died, he had to take up the mantle of High Dominus. Unprecedentedly, he refused, causing a great unrest in the ranks of the council. Some members wanted Carolius to be executed for having knowledge of the council, yet showing no participation, as well as showing no restraint in the use of magic in front of the public. Others raised the objection that Ludovicus had not taught his son correctly the regulations of a lunar council, and thus Carolius could not be held accountable. Carolius himself had lived in the public, and a considerable gang of criminals seeking his favor had formed over the years. He was of the opinion that support and loyalty from the people was the highest possible power you could have, and that the council had neither. This way of thinking created a further schism between those who wanted to see Carolius killed and those who didn't want to dishonor the Rose lineage. No other Domini left the council, for they foresaw that it would create a great war from which no side would benefit. A decision was made to attempt wiping the memories of the young rebel, whereafter he was released into the public once more. Carolius went on to create the Thorn Syndicate. The Exercitus Lunar expanded naturally over time, puppeteering governments on all sides of the globe, staging wars and peace, rigging elections, and keeping populations in ignorance. A more scientific approach to magic led to technological advances, the likes of which the world had never seen. Of course, this technology would not be shared to the public, however beneficial it may be. If they lost their scientific advantage, how could they keep order over the masses, let alone their enemies? Now their peril is greater than ever before, as new foes are born and old foes emerge. The Caterai have returned in greater numbers than ever before. The followers of the Broken Cross rapidly achieve impossible feats of power. The Nadarites surface to do the bidding of their gods, and the forgotten demons of Exercitus materialize from every shadow. In such times, we must remember our credo. What remains in darkness cannot be slain, but we are the shiners of light and the casters of shadow, and in the darkest pit we can muster, we shall rend them apart. If you stayed around this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It will help a ton. Videos on the Caterai and the Thorn Syndicate will be posted in the future. In the meantime, if there's anything you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments. It could be from any established franchise, or it could be worlds of your own creation. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.